Aloha Warriors, Sensei Joshua Loya here and Sensei Andrea Loya, both of us from Guardian Quest Martial Arts and Blind Community Martial Arts. Wanted to show you something you can do in a small area. We're still at home, not having classes yet, hopefully soon, but we'll want to do it safely. So for today, we're going to show you some basic wrist locks, 3 of them, and the 7 that we, primary ones that we teach in the Guardian Arts. I'm going to show you some basic wrist stretches and talk about the tap a little bit, and then the wrist locks that we're going to show you, we're showing them to you abstractly. We're not showing them to you, you're not just going to walk up to somebody and wrist lock them straight off. It's usually going to be as part of a flow from a deflection of a punch or from a grab or what have you. So we're not going to show you the leads up to the wrist locks, but we are going to show you the wrist locks themselves. Please be kind with your friends and family members that you're isolating with, that they may not have the same level of training you have, so please be kind. So we're going to start off with some basic wrist locks, some basic ways to warm up your wrists. Sensei Andrea might adjust me just a little bit because this is the first time that we've filmed something with both of us in it, so she might need to help us adjust there. So, but just start now, just shake out your wrist a little bit, get the blood flowing. You might even kind of, might even get to the point where you're bouncing a little bit, but you're really just trying to shake those out. So you want to stretch your muscles and ligaments and tendons when they're warm, not when they're cold. So if your hands are cold, you really want to shake them out. If you're super, super cold for wherever you are, you can also run them under warm water. That's a nice little trick if you absolutely have to, but I recommend just kind of shaking them out a little bit. Now go ahead and make a fist. Loose fist, doesn't have to be a hard fist. You're going to take that and you're going to take your knuckles towards your elbow. So you stretch in the top of your hand there. Just about 5 seconds or so. I'm going to switch to my other hand. Stretch. You really feel that across the top of your forearm. All right, so now go ahead and take your palm up. You can do this palm up or palm down. I like to start with palm up. So palm up, and I'm bending my fingers back. Fingers back. Really feel that. This is really good if you are a musician or you sit down at your computer a lot. So even if you're not a martial artist, you can benefit from these stretches. And now I'm going to take my thumb and my palms down. I'm going to tweak that there. I'm going to feel a little bit over the top of my wrist. And here, this is really good too, by the way. If your thumbs are already a bit flexible, it can help you prevent jamming them sometime, which can happen if you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're grappling and what have you. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Although, if you do what we teach, what do we say with our fingers and thumbs? Fingers and thumbs together, right? Yeah. So, by the way, she may not be as talkative, but she's actually the head instructor at Guardian Quest Martial Arts and the chief instructor at Blind Community Martial Arts. So just her lack of volume is not indicative of her skill. All right, so I'm going to take the last 2 stretches. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to rotate my thumb towards the inside, my pinky, and it's going to run underneath. So I'm thumb in, and then rotate underneath the bottom towards the outside, and the pinky from the top is coming to the inside. Now I'm actually going to do the other side on this hand. So the other one is I take it, palm up, and I rotate it the other way. So it doesn't matter to me if you do both hands together, if you do them separately, as long as you get all the different angles. Again, so here, my thumb's going underneath towards the outside.
With this stretch, you should feel it more on the radius side of the wrist. So you can palm out and then push your fingers out.
And then the other side, you're rotating the other direction on your hand. Go ahead and shake it out just a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to show you a basic grabbing drill just to get used to it, and then I'm going to do the technique, and Sensei Andrew's going to do the technique so that you get a chance to see what it's like. So we're going to face each other, try to stay in the shot. So, are we good here?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So if I reach across, I'm just going to practice reaching across. For this first 3 wrist locks we're going to show you today, it's reach across. So now, we have pretty evenly matched hands. So I can get my thumb in the web between her index finger and her thumb, but that's not as crucial as this pinky. Because with this pinky, I have control of that. She grabs me the same way with her pinky on my wrist. So we do the reach across, yeah. And even if she can't, she has good thumbs there, but she takes that thumb, she can bite that into my wrist. So kind of rotate forward there a little bit. Yep, see, that's not fun. I have to do things to get out of that. So we're just gonna reach across, and then if we're gonna do the other side, it's the same thing, reach across. So if she reaches across,
okay.
All right, and then she reaches across with the other hand, again, her pinky's right there on that wrist. So you really make sure you really bite that in, almost like it's a tooth. So not so much, yeah, like that. Good. All right. So the first one, all these 3 you're gonna start the same way. It's gonna be a reach across, thumb to chest. So I take her thumb to my chest, corner, corner. So I make a little corner so her wrist and her elbow are lined up with each other. Then I drop my elbows down so she can't pull it out. Yep. And I'm going to be easy on her because I like her. You know, you would hope after 15 years of marriage I like her, but I do. So, and then I'm going to compress. That might be enough for her. And you notice the tap. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then from there, I'm going to rotate. She goes down. Now, obviously, if I was really compressing and I was really cranking it downward, she would have no choice but to go down. Because, of course, in a fight, are you going to tap? No, because we train for self-defense, not for competition. But in training and in competition, if she's going to do the technique on me, ideally, and she's going to do the whole thing. Ideally, I'm going to tap on her. I could, theoretically, tap there. That she doesn't hear it. So if I stomp on the ground, that doesn't make as much noise. If I tap there, then she knows as soon as I let go, do that. She lets go, backs off. And of course, if she does it again and she can't see or hear that, maybe it's loud, and I can't tap on her, tap, tap, tap. Right? So you start with maybe 1 tap or do a double tap as far as vocally. So again, say verbally tap or tap, tap. Tap on them or tap on yourself. Ideally, if you can tap on them, that way they have the visual of seeing you tap on them, ideally. They have the auditory indication from the sound of the tap, and of course they have the physical sensation of you tapping. So again, tap early, tap often. This isn't a way that we can prove how tough we are. Especially if you're really flexible, your damage point and your pain point can switch. I want you to stay safe. We don't want you having a sprained wrist right now, especially when it's a little crazy getting to see the doctor at the moment. So do that reach. So I'll do it 1 more time on her, and she'll do it 1 more time on me, so you can get both ankles. So I reach across, that pinky grip, thumb if I can get it, but the pinky's more important. Reach across, thumb to chest, corner, corner, so I kind of step in, elbows down, compress, and bow. And notice she tapped right away so that I didn't hurt her. Of course I wouldn't anyway, but so she's gonna do it to me. Reach across, thumb to chest, elbows, corner, corner, elbows down, compress, and now she's being nice to me because she doesn't want to hurt me. One other thing with this compression wrist lock, I'm compressing not here, because if I press here, I can press here all day long. That goes right down my forearm. I want to compress right at the top of my hand, ideally, because that gets the maximum leverage on my wrist. And so I want to make sure that I'm using my force efficiently. So we got that one. So reach across, come to chest, corner, corner, elbows down, compress, and bow. All right, and make sure you keep their thumb on your chest as you bow, otherwise it just slips off. All right, so the second one, it's gonna start the same way. Reach across, thumb to chest, block out arm. I'm gonna take and I got that same pinky grip. I'm going to separate her wrist, so I'm going to pull it away from her hand and her wrist, and her arm apart from each other. And then from there, keeping that, I'm going to bow. All right. And so part of it is if you just do this, I'll do it one more time and then she can do it to me. So if I just do this, she can take that because, she has the strength of her wrist. If she does that to me and she doesn't separate the wrist, if she doesn't separate the wrist, I can stand here a lot. Now she can eventually get it because she's really good. But if she wants to get that more efficiently, she's going to reach across. She's going to thumb to chest. She's going to lock out my arm. So she's make sure that my arm is straight there. She's going to use that grip and pull my wrist away from my hand. Now she's going to really bite down and bow.
There's a little subtle movement here, and I can kind of exaggerate it a little bit. I'm keeping the hand connected to me. I'm squeezing the pinky, and I'm sort of just moving my shoulder back a little bit to help separate that wrist.
You want it straight. So notice right now it's curving. You don't want that. You want the thumb here, and you want to pull that straight back. And she keeps my thumb on her chest as she bows. Because my thumb slips, it doesn't matter. All right. So reach across. So she'll do it one more time. Reach across, thumb to chest, lock out arm, separate wrist, and bow. And again, I didn't tap on her, but I tapped on me. She knows what that means. She knows to immediately let go. So if your partner is tapping, don't prove how tough you are. This isn't a fight. This isn't, any kind of world competition or anything. We want to make sure you stay safe. So tap early and tap often. Last one. Now, this is actually my favorite. It's going to be hard for you to see on your side when I do it to her, but it's going to be really obvious when she does it to me. So I'm going to reach across. Same thing. I'm going to take her thumb to my hip, and I'll rest on her elbow. I'll do it from that side just so you can see it too. And she gets to do it on me, both sides. So again, I reach across. And again, we're not starting a fight this way. This is a way to drill the wrist locks to make sure we have the correct positioning. We'll work up to transitioning in from other situations to wrist locks at a later date. So reach across, thumb to hip. Now notice, I make sure her elbow is pointed towards the sky because I can compress on her wrist here and I can push down on her elbow. If I do the reach across and I change grips, well, it doesn't matter. Don't pull it away.
Oh, sorry.
If I push down on her elbow, that just makes her arm bend. So I need to make sure that when I do it, I got that same pinky squeeze. It's not into the side, it's biting down like that. Thumb to hip, so her thumb to my hip, and then I can rest on, I keep that tight pressure with the wrist lock here, the compression, and then I push down on her elbow. So either I get the arm bar, or I get the wrist lock. So she gets to do it to me now. So we're a giving family. So if I do the technique to her, she gets to do it to me. We like to make sure each person gets equal time.
One thing I want to mention for the taps, tap early, tap often.
Yeah. We can't say that enough.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
You decide? Yeah.
So did you want to say this? Okay.
So reach across, thumb to hip. Notice she makes a wide arc so that my elbow stays towards the sky. Takes my thumb in right to her hip. Has that locked in. She has multiple ways that she can keep that. And then she's going to slide up. If she needs to take a second, she's going to slide up, feel for my elbow. It's not something you have to see to do. And then she compresses while she presses down on the elbow. And I go down. If somebody's doing that, you can use this to take them to the ground. Or, of course, the wrist or arm can be damaged. There are some escapes from that. We're not going to get into that today. But this is a really good one. So if she wants to do it on the other side, you're not going to see it as well, but I want you to see it. So reach across, thumb to hip, and rest on elbow. Yeah, sometimes my elbows pop. So, all right. So I'll do it one more time on her, and she'll do it one more time on me. Actually, I want you to do it one more time on me first.
Okay, I'll do it.
On that side, yeah. Reach across, thumb to hip, rest on elbow. And one more time, you can see it from me. Reach across. And as I come up, you can see that I got that pinky squeeze. It's not in here, it's not in here. It's like this. And thumb to hip. Rest on elbow. All right, so play with those. Again, make sure you warm up a little bit first. Make sure you tap early and tap often. And be kind to your partners because they're going to get their turn too. All right.
And I would say stretch afterwards too.
Yes, most definitely. All right. We'll bow to each other first. And as always, strive to be guardian strong. Strong on the inside, strong on the outside.